Hello and welcome to the Intel Brief. Today is Friday, the 17th of April. I'm your host Daniel, and today we're going to talk about the Cuban president has vowed defense of the island if the US invades. China has turned Taiwan's own voice against itself in information warfare, and the US says Lebanon has committed to curtailing Hezbollah. So firstly, the Cuban president said on Thursday that we don't want a confrontation, but it is our duty to be ready to avoid it, and if unavoidable, to win it. He made the remarks in Cuba's capital, Havana, during a ceremony marking the 65th anniversary of the US failed 1961 Bay of Pigs invasion, a CIA-backed operation launched after US-owned properties and businesses on the island were nationalized by Fidel Castro and his fellow revolutionaries. He also told thousands gathered at the event that the nation is ready for another attack by US President Donald Trump continues to threaten the tiny southern neighbor. So what? I mean, this seems to be a similar situation as what we saw in Venezuela in the build-up to the US military action there. And while it's almost certain that the US would prevail, it's likely a show for the country's domestic audience. No one really believes that Cuba could hold out to a full-scale US invasion, but doing so would be highly unfavorable or no one would really want it to happen, I don't think. Within the US, it seems a bit far, but it is possible that the US could do something similar like they did in Venezuela. Maybe not the removal of one person, but, trying to remove like the government or something like that. I don't really know. Yeah, and I think it is possible that the US may try and make a move in Cuba if things go quiet in Iran. As I've said in the past, there are many reasons why the US wants to have a change of regime within Cuba, particularly around Chinese intelligence collection from Cuba, and basically just having a hostile neighbor so close to your southern border, off your southern coast. It's been a problem for them for a long time. And next, as Chinese warships and fighter jets stage massive drills around Taiwan in December, a parallel action was unfolding on smartphones. On Douyin, China's version of TikTok, a news outlet run by the Chinese Communist Party posted a 51-second video of the Taiwanese opposition leader accusing the president of inviting Chinese aggression. She said they were dragging 23 million of us in Taiwan into a dead-end road of death by pursuing independence. The clip quickly surfaced on YouTube, Facebook, and other platforms popular in Taiwan. So what? It's possible that this is the start or part of an increased information warfare campaign against Taiwan to try and shift the rhetoric within the country towards reuniting peacefully with China. It is possible that this is a sign of China reassessing how it's going to try and retake the island nation, possibly moving away from the use of force after watching how conflicts or invasions have gone both in Ukraine and recently in Iran. The drones have completely changed the battlefield, and that needs to be taken into consideration. It's likely we'll see China use AI more and more going forward in information warfare. This runs basically in parallel to what we saw in the European FIMI report, which I made a YouTube video on over on the HM Intelligence YouTube channel. Go check it out. Where AI was used something like 150% more than it had in the past. Absolutely crazy numbers. And it's likely we'll see similar moves by China. And lastly, the US State Department has said that a ceasefire reached between Israel and Lebanon on Thursday involves a commitment by the Lebanese government to prevent any Hezbollah attacks on Israel. In a statement by the US State Department, they said the government of Lebanon will take meaningful steps to prevent Hezbollah from carrying out any attacks, operations, or hostile activities against Israeli targets. They continued to say that both countries recognize the significant challenges faced by the Lebanese state from non-state armed groups which undermine Lebanon's sovereignty and threaten regional stability. Both countries understand that the group's activities must be curtailed. So what? This is similar to statements we've seen from Lebanon in the past around the removal of Hezbollah, and I do believe that the Lebanese government themselves do want Hezbollah gone, but it is an extremely difficult thing to do with the amount of support and power they hold within the country. And it's unlikely they will completely remove them peacefully. That is basically the bluff of this assessment. It's going to take some kind of military action to remove Hezbollah from Lebanon. And it's possible that Israel and Lebanon could work together to remove the group going forward. They could essentially make a deal where Lebanon holds kind of a blocking position in the north, and Israel comes in from the south to completely eradicate them. This is probably a good move for the entire region, as the removal of Hezbollah would, would be good for peace in the Middle East, in my opinion. But yeah, something to watch out for. Anyway, that's been your Intel Brief. I've been your host, Daniel, and I'll see you again next week. See you.